Okay, today we're starting 2-3, solving multi-step equations, which there's a reason we spent so much time just on one-step equations, because if we know how to do all the different types of one-step, then when we move to multi-step equations, it shouldn't be too difficult, okay? So, let's look at our first example. 3x plus 7 is equal to negative 8, okay? Yeah, did you leave one in here?
Why is Talon in the bed?
Somebody left this one.
Talon, go to class.
It's fine. You just bring it back to me. Okay. All right. So when I look at this, right, am I still solving for x?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I know how to do it.
But Callan, I'm gonna have 2 steps on this one instead of 1. So can you tell me what your 2 steps would be, Callan?
Let me write.
Okay.
So you draw your little line.
Okay.
Yep. And you bring your 3x down line. And you minus 7 to each side.
Good. So here's what I'm going to tell you every time. If the right side has no variables, then I move anything else that doesn't have a variable, which, like Callan said, is 7. So just like we talked about last week, what's the opposite of plus 7? Minus. So those 2 things cancel. 7 minus 7 is 0. And then he said bring down 3x. And what is 3x going to be equal to? Negative 15. Good. Negative 8 minus 7 is negative 15. Okay, then Callan, what's your last step to get x by itself?
You divide 3 by each side.
Good.
And you get negative 3.
X is equal to, not negative 3.
Or positive 3. Or positive. Negative. Hold up. 5.
Negative 5 is correct. Okay? All right. Now, is negative 5 the correct answer?
Yes.
How do we know?
Because it equaled x.
We don't know that. How can we know? Okay. Now, how can I quickly check this? 3 times negative 5 plus 7. Can you type it in your calculator just like that?
Yes.
Yes. Somebody do that real quick. 3 parentheses negative 5 plus 7.
Yup. It's correct.
Negative 8 is correct. Okay. Here's the deal, you guys. This will probably be the last section where I make you do this. Because if we can make it through these first 2 sections and know how to check them, okay? But here's what I am going to tell you. When we start doing this on a test, you at least need to type these in your calculator to check them so you know if you're right, okay? Like, I'm not going to make you write it down every time after this section and show it, but I want you to know how to do it. That way you know if we're getting things right or wrong on a test.
Very nice.
Fair enough?
Do we have homework last time?
No. Because we did it in class. We did our work in class. Sir?
When's our next test?
Not for a little while.
About a week ago.
Probably not next week because we have a short week, maybe the week after. Okay?
A short week.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't have school Monday.
That's not very short.
Alright. So, same idea here, right? Do I have any variables over here on the left side? No. So I move anything on the right side that doesn't have a variable. What would that be? 45. So, would I subtract 45 or add 45?
Subtract.
Good. Because if I added 45, would 45 plus 45 cancel out? No. It would give you 90, right? Okay. What's 87 minus 45?
42.
42.
Jackie Robinson.
Now, here's where you have to be careful. What do I have left over on this side?
Negative 1W.
Negative W or negative 1W. Some of you might want to put that 1 in there. Because now, what do I have to do to get W by itself?
Plus.
Who's somebody over there said it?
divide by negative.
Divide by negative 1. So we get W is equal to negative 42. Okay? Then we're just going to use our calculator to check and make sure this is true. Somebody type in 45 minus negative 42.
I got negative 42.
Huh. Jesus, what'd you get? 87. Okay. Okay, anybody want to try this next one? Tatum?
You would subtract 1 on both sides.
Because 1 doesn't have a what?
Variable.
Variable. Good.
And then that would equal r over 9 equals 3.
Okay, and r over 9 is really saying what?
R divided by 9.
Okay, r divided by 9, and how do we get rid of that division of 9?
Multiply it.
Okay, multiply both sides by 9. 9 divided by 9 cancels, and I get r is equal to 27. Okay, Tatum, how could you make sure 27 is correct?
Do 27 divided over 9 plus 1.
Good. Okay, so in your calculator, 27 divided by 9 plus 1,
Equals 4.
we should get 4.
4 on question number 3.
Okay,
5 on question number 4.
with these first few, do we feel okay with it?
Yep.
Okay, all right, let's look at, let me see what I want to do.
Where's home?
Now, this one looks a little bit different from the 3 that we've done already. For what reason?
Parentheses.
Parentheses. Okay? Who can tell me what I would do with my parentheses? Callan?
First you draw your little line,
I don't need to do that yet.
and then you multiply the outside of the parentheses. 'Cause you guys
One
always
in.
do that first.
Okay, so what am I multiplying that by?
5 times 1 and then 5 times n.
Okay, what is 5 times 1?
5.
5 times n.
5n.
Good. Okay, now I can go ahead and draw that line and solve.
Then you minus 5 to each side.
Because 5 doesn't have a variable.
Then you bring down 5n. And then you gotta divide.
What? Hold on. What's negative 5 minus 5, Callan?
What?
What's negative 5 minus 5? You didn't tell me what it was equal to.
Negative 10.
JC.
Then n equals. Well, first you gotta divide by 5.
Okay.
Then n equals negative 2.
All right. Callan, how are you going to know that negative 2 is the correct answer?
You plug it in for n.
To the original. So 5 parentheses 1 plus negative 2. So in your calculator, you're going to type it in just like that. 5 parentheses 1 plus negative 2 parentheses. I want us checking these so we know how we're doing this when we go through. Okay? Yes? Okay. Listen, do we feel like spending, I know it was a lot, those 3 days doing the same thing, but don't you feel like when we get to these, like it just helps us kind of know and be able to roll through them a little quicker? Yes? Hopefully.
I'm a master at checking. World Series.
Okay? Now, this one looks just a little bit different, okay? Hey, I'm almost done. This one looks a little different for what reason?
Because there's nothing different.
JC? Yeah. The whole thing with the variable is being divided by negative 3. Well, I really want just this 5x minus 14, so how could I get rid of this division of negative 3?
Just do it already.
JC, say it again. Yeah. So the first step on this only works if the whole side is being divided, is to multiply both sides by negative 3. Because do these two cancel out? Yes, because anything divided by itself is going to equal 1. So I get 5x minus 14 is equal to positive 21. Yeah, negative times a negative gives us a positive. Okay, JC, do you want to finish this?
Minus 14 on both sides?
Okay, if you subtract 14, is negative 14 minus 14 opposites?
No.
So what should you do instead? Add 14. Okay, we get 5x is equal to 35. Last step, JC. divide by 5, and you get x is equal to what? X is equal to 7. Okay? Now, JC, how are you going to know if 7 is the correct answer?
Plug it into X.
So 5 times 7 minus 14. Now, listen, on this one, if it was me, I would type 5 times 7 minus 14 and hit equals, and then I would divide that by negative 3. Okay? You have to be careful about how you type things into your calculator. Yes? Okay? All right. Questions on this? How do we feel about this part?
100%.
We feel like this is doable?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Today,